Welcome to April's Garage. Tesla is taking another hit, like my knee, in sales. Well, we're not selling my knee, actually.
Yeah.
But, I had surgery again.
She had a little clean out of some scar tissue. See, I can.
You just have to talk about cars.
I know, it has to be about cars. Yes.
There's some scars. So if you don't know, I had a ski accident about a year ago, had a new ACL put in, and that graft kind of like flipped in front of the knee joint a little bit, and there's some scar tissue, and so they did like the orthoscopic clean out.
It's basically all my fault because I took her skiing, she tore her ACL, and then afterwards I bought this giant multi-acre property and she went gardening crazy and messed up her knee. And then I made her sell her house in Chicago. Well, not made her, to move here, and all the stairs in her old house, she screwed up her knee, got scar tissue, and had to have surgery
There's
again.
a lot going on.
So it's my fault.
So
It's all my fault.
I've got this like ice contraption machine hooked up that like circulates ice around the whole knee, which it feels nice. It kind of numbs it up.
We're like 3 or 4 days post-surgery, but she's
Right.
a trooper. She's making YouTube videos. Look at her crack the whip, and she's in here working. Now she'll be miraculously healed a couple of times because before the surgery we shot a couple of car reviews
Right.
together. So if you're wondering like why is she healed and then going back to gimpy, well that's why.
We did stuff ahead of time, which is unusual.
Right,
for
we worked
us.
ahead. So there's a bumper sticker going around. It's
So funny.
pretty popular.
Right.
It says, "I bought this before Elon went crazy."
Yeah. And
So-
you stick it on the back of your Tesla, and it's supposed to keep you safe.
Right, safe from people's anger and hate crimes and Nazi salutes and everything else. But we're really starting to see on the bottom line of Tesla how much the sales are slumping. So it is pretty nuts. And I'm curious if it is actually Elon's personality and his politics and being the first buddy to Trump, or if it really is all of the competition finally starting to catch up to Tesla. So starting with the numbers as far as the sales slump, it's pretty bad. So let's start with the state of California. They reported now 25% of all new car sales are electric. Yay,
Right.
California.
That's not shocking.
Woo, yay. But Tesla is down in California, 11.6% decline.
Well, you would expect that in California to be leading in that decline, right?
Right, but they're up in sales. They're selling more electric cars than they ever have, but Tesla sales are declining. So
Right.
a little scary there. The Model Y is still the best-selling electric, crossover thing in the world. So they're safe, but compared to last year, they're seeing less registrations. So 30,000 fewer Model 3 registrations, and the Model Y down 4,000 units from last year, so not even growing there. The Cybertruck, 9,000 new registrations, and believe it or not, only 434 off on the Model X, even though it is ancient, but they're not selling the Model X very well. Everybody's buying the Model Y.
Right.
Where it's really, really bad is in Europe and China. So in France, they're down 63% in sales.
Just for Tesla or EVs
Tesla.
in general? Tesla.
Tesla.
Okay, so they just really hate kind of the rhetoric that's going on. I would say the politics. Is that something probably that's holding them back?
I don't know.
Because that's a significant sales decrease. Even 10% is supposed to be significant, and 63 is
Really
intense.
bad. So 60% in Germany, 8% in the United Kingdom.
Not bad.
No Tesla cracked in UK's top 10 bestseller list last month. And then in China,
Right.
they're down 11.5%.
Right.
Even though they invested all that money in the factories in China, they're down huge.
Right.
So, is that because of Elon's political affiliations? Well, in the U.S., maybe. So somebody's posting this survey, and the survey seems, it's called the Nonprofit EV Politics Project. I don't know. They surveyed 600 people, maybe some of their best left-leaning friends, I don't know, or who knows.
Well, that's why when you survey 600 people, I feel like
Right.
that's not enough people.
Of EV shoppers.
Okay.
And they were asking the favorability ratings of different EVs if they're buying one in the next year. With Ford, it was 76-24. With Volkswagen, it was 73-23. With Toyota, it was 94-6%.
Wow, okay.
Really high with Toyota.
Toyota's coming
Tesla, 63-37. So 37% unfavorable rating versus the next worst was Ford had a 24% unfavorable. And Volkswagen, who, anyway, we're talking Nazi ties. Never mind. Anyway,
Well, they've got the Scout coming out, right?
they got the Scout coming out.
Right.
So is it competition or is it Elon being nuts? And it's probably a combination of both.
Yeah, it
but
has to
really,
be.
the competition is getting pretty heated. So a lot of products catching up. The Lyric, obviously, we bought that used. It has a long way to go when it comes to the tech. But
Right.
we love the way it drives. We love the way it looks, and the interior quality and all that stuff is very old school Cadillac. But as far as the glitchiness and the slowness, just getting the Model S Plaid and
Right.
seeing the comparison of just swiping through the menus and
Right.
using the app to warm up the car and all that stuff, and the Cadillac, it's like a dinosaur in comparison.
Right. Tesla definitely kind of restarted, and I want to say kind of reinvented the wheel as far as EVs. And there's a lot of companies that are still trying to make that branch between, internal combustion and the feel of those cars versus EVs, and they're slowly kind of crossing over, where Tesla just really jumped to their new kind of, this is what the world's going to be.
Right. So Elon says, bring on the competition, no incentives, no nothing, just bring it.
Right.
We can handle it. And I really think Tesla is feeling the heat more than
They are.
anything else.
There's
And
a lot of options right now.
a lot. So the Dodge Charger, you got up
Ooh.
close and personal with at Barrett Jackson, right?
It's interesting because when I first saw the electric Charger, I didn't think it was the electric Charger because there's so many like AI drawings of it that look a little sleeker, a little kind of smoother and more aerodynamic. When I saw this one, I just thought it was kind of an older Charger that they were debuting there. What I do like about it is they kind of brought back that old school logo on the top. It's called the Frat Dog, and they used it on a lot of the old kind of Chargers and old
Yes.
cars, muscle cars at that time.
She's mine, guys. Just
But
so you
it's
know.
it's a cool design and it's electric, and they kind of resurrected that feel for it. And obviously their ad campaign was, we're still cool and tough, and even though we have electric cars, and so they're really driving that marketing, which I feel like marketing has a lot to do with cars. Seeing how Elon in the world of marketing kind of isn't, super strong for Tesla right now,
I said nobody was going to buy it,
right?
and I was wrong.
Really?
You know why?
Why?
Because Dodge is whoring out leases. There's no other way to put it. But they are. Please come get these. And they're advertising a $299 a month lease on their brand new Charger. This is a $70,000 base vehicle or 80 something offered, but the base one apparently you can lease. Let me do the math here a little bit because it's $4,579 down. So I'm going to get my calculator out.
Are you saying they're whoring out their leasing?
Well, it's an
I feel
old
like
car-
only on YouTube we could say, like if we were like on History Channel or something.
It's a common thing among car dealers because we got so angry when I was working at Joe Self Chevrolet Cadillac.
Yeah.
And the competitor who sold Chevrolets on the west side of Wichita was called Davis Moore. And we got so mad because we would hold on to our gross and our profits, and then they'd go down the road and go to Davis Moore, and Davis Moore would whore out the price and whore out the car. Is what we would call it, where they would just give it away and make no money, and we'd lose out on the sale.
Yeah.
So we started calling them Davis Whore instead of Davis Moore. Anyway, Davis Moore is still in operation, so but they're great. I mean, they bought the Cybertruck from me and sold the Lyric. So, all right, $4,579. So, $299 for how many months? So $299 times 24, $7,000 plus $4,579. That is how much you would have to pay for the lease, $11,755. So
Wow.
in 2 years, they're calculating that the Charger EV is only going to depreciate $11,000.
That's crazy. That's wild.
In 2 years, it's going to depreciate
Quite a
$30,000,
bit more.
$40,000, $50,000.
Right. Right.
And they are going to be stuck massively upside down with those leases. So if they are indeed going to do this lease, and you want an EV, I mean, obviously leasing is the answer. And it is with a lot of these EVs, thanks to the horrific depreciation. But that just means they're going to lose a whole lot of money on these Chargers, and you would be an idiot to buy them. You lease them, absolutely. And if other automakers are going to do that, well, Tesla's smoked, absolutely smoked.
Right. Well, you get the Charger Daytona RT Scat Pack version, which is quite a lot more.
Right.
But here's what I was surprised by: that 0 to 60 for that is 3.3 seconds. And I just feel like it should be kind of closer in the twos to have all that power,
it
right?
weighs like 6,000
Okay,
pounds.
see?
It's
There
heavy
you
as
go.
heck. It's a two-door that's as long as like my Escalade. It's
Right.
ridiculous. But
Right.
it is cool. It's very expensive. It's
It is
very
cool.
heavy.
Well, being that heavy, you have to have special tires for that too, and it's just a lot of added extra money.
So A lot more competition. I think that has a lot more to do with what's going on than Elon's politics. The Model X and the Model S are very long in the tooth. The Model Y and 3 are getting a nice refresh. The Cybertruck, everybody who's one has bought one, so they're having to lower the price on those to sell them. So they're out of their exciting flash moments of like, wow, amazing thing, I have to buy it, and they don't have anything in the pipeline to really replace it that people are going to go crazy and want to swoop up. So yeah, Tesla is just going to struggle with the competition, but they're still dominant, obviously, but their stock price is tumbling because of that and other things. But the other big competitor is going to be Scout.
Oh, I love those.
We've talked about Scout, but they're going to be built in South Carolina, even though they're owned by Volkswagen. But they're doing the direct sales like Tesla, not through Volkswagen dealers. And they're going to face the issue of some states not allowing direct sales, including their home state of South Carolina. They're trying to introduce legislation to where the car that's built in their state can actually be sold in their state, which is crazy to think
am I thinking wrong on this? Because I feel like direct to consumer is kind of a safer thing, because I don't want to go and like haggle with some slick car salesman and kind of get screwed over like I feel like I do a lot, especially being a girl, and they're kind of smooth over, like they know how to work it, right? And like when it's direct to the consumer.
Well, we've talked about this.
Right.
We've talked about this, the benefits of a car dealership, because they're more reactive to price. They can take with the ebb and flow of the car market, and a car that's been around for a long time, they can just whore it out. And
but like,
a manufacturer is not going to react as quickly.
As with a set price, going to like a storefront and a set price, and not someone kind of, okay, let's play this dance back and forth for a couple weeks on a price of a car.
Well, there's two brands that I can think of where they did the set price with no negotiation. That was Scion and Saturn. And guess where they are? They're gonzo.
That's right.
Totally gone.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if that works with the dealership method, because the only way to negotiate is through the trade-in in those circumstances. And there's one dealership in town that has all the luxury car brands in Wichita, and it's Walzer. They're from Minnesota, I believe. They bought out the ones in Kansas, and they do that, the no haggle, none of that stuff. And they just have full-time employees dedicated to price watching, and they are changing the price sometimes up, like day to day, week to week. They are watching the trends and doing it that way.
Like when they say no haggling online, like I still feel like there's still a little haggling
well,
to
that's
do.
The trade-in. So you come in on those kind of dealerships, and you come in and say, well, my bottom line number is this, and I get it, you have a set price, but if you have a market change or whatever and something changes, let me know. And usually, if you're reasonable, in the next day or two or the hour or two, like, my manager looked at it, and we're going to do a market adjustment, and we'll lower the price of this, and then they come back.
How fair? Sorry, this is like the most remedial question of all questions. But how fair is it to go on like Kelley Blue Book to see how much your trade-in should be? Like, how accurate do you think that? So I feel like a lot of people use that.
Not so much on the older stuff. Our line, we used to say, "Oh, is Kelley Blue Book going to buy it from you? Is that the price they're offering?" No, that's their gut. Well, okay, sorry.
I mean, is that like a Zillow estimate where it's just kind of completely off the wall ballpark?
Correct. It's much more accurate when you have a larger sample. So if you're looking at your value of your 2020 Toyota Camry, it's going to be pretty accurate, because there's a lot of them transacting at 3 or 4 years old. If you're looking to value your 2008 Mercedes SLR McLaren on there, it's not going to be very accurate. There's not many selling. There's a lot of variables with those cars. A lot of variables with luxury cars too that are very tough to pin. Like when you have a Porsche with $50,000 in options, or like same with some Mercedes S classes and things. It actually make a difference. So it depends.
Yeah. So would you get a charger, electric charger? How do you feel?
A $399 a month, so $100 more a month for
all the goods.
RT Scat Pack.
Oh yeah. Not on the docket?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe when you see it in person, you might change your mind.
I saw it in person. It's a big old boat, but
it's a big boat. Inside does not look very advanced. I mean, it looks like it's just not an EV. It looks like a regular. Very nice, spacious inside. You got custom colors in the doors. Cool design. Got a suede on the bolstered seats. Not bad.
I'd take my Hellcat, except I wouldn't buy the one that I bought. I would get another Hellcat that wasn't one owner, 4 accidents, and no oil change, where the motor is ruined and the suspension ruined, the brakes ruined, and I'm restoring the first ever modern Challenger to the tune of 50 grand when I could have bought a nice one with low miles for 40. But thanks for reminding me.
Thanks for watching. We need a therapist for both of us.